Hi everyone. For my first video, I want to show a website called Desmos. And Desmos actually has a couple of things that it has going for it. One reason why I chose this is just a great way to get the kids interacting with the math. And also I really like it. This one truly is device specific. It's got a really friendly mobile interface. And then plus it's web-based. So it's really, really great. There actually is an app that students can use, but you can also do it through the browser. You just go to desmos.com. If you click on Start Graphing, it's going to take you to the graphing calculator. I'm just going to show you super quick here. Like if you put in an equation, then you can see you can quickly graph it. It'll show key points. So this one, the x-intercept, the y-intercept happens to be a local minimum. It'll find those points just by hovering over them, which is really nice. I also really like, this is another nice simple thing. If I just type in y equals mx plus b, you can see it's asking me to add sliders. I can add it for each letter individually, or if I want all of them, I can just click on all. But what it does is the students can actually very quickly see what happens when the slope increases. When the slope increases, the line gets steeper. And then they can also quickly see that when the slope goes negative, it's a downhill line. And that's a really nice way for them to just quickly see what's happening. With the y-intercept, the b, you can see if I increase it, as the y-intercept increases, the line moves up. As the y-intercept decreases, the line's moving down. The y-intercept says 3.1 right now, and it looks like it's probably about 3.1 right there. You can see, oh, look at that. Oh, negative 3.1. So it's nice. I can also quickly hide graphs if I don't want to see them, bring them back. And if you click and hold, you can see there's color options. I can make it dotted or dashed. And also over here, there's lots of graph settings. So there's a ton of things you can do with this, which I really like. Click on the thing here. You can go ahead and also play, or play with things here. You can add a table. So it's got a lot of great things. But I want to show you another nice thing about Desmos. I'm going to go to teacher.desmos.com. And you can create your own activities, but there's a ton of pre-made activities. So for instance, I'm going to show marble slides. This one is a really nice one. I'm going to go down here to marble slides lines. And when you create a class code, like students can join your class then. So I'm going to create a class code, and now I can see the class code right here. I can also go to View Dashboard, and then it will pop up with a screen where you can see right there, there's a student code waiting for students to see it. So so that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and actually join this class. So I'm going to go to an incognito window so I can go to student.desmos.com. So that's what your students would go to. And then they can enter the class code and they can join. They can put whatever name they want in here. I'm just going to choose a random name here. First name that popped in my mind. And now it starts with the activity. So the goal of marble slides, they are the purple ball, and they are trying to, these are like little ramps that the ball will fall on, and they want to get all the gold stars. So if they click launch, this just kind of gets them used to it. Okay, so success. So they go to the next one. So now they have to move this line so when the ball falls, it will hit all the stars. But they can't just click and drag on the line. They have to go over here and play with these numbers a little bit. So it looks like we want to move this down. What if we moved it down and just went to 0? Well, that's not enough. We'll have to move it down to -1, -2. Oh, wait, that may have done it. -3 may be too tall. Let's try this one. We click launch, and success. And it starts off pretty simple, but it can get really tricky. And so, it goes through. I'm just clicking through the screens now because time is limited. Right here, this is a way that it limits where the line is. So here's the line, but it's only drawing the line when x is less than 4. So you can see here on the x-axis is 4, and you can see the line has been drawn only where the x values are less than 4. Because sometimes you want to create more than one line. If we go back to that first screen, remember how that had these different lines right here. So as the students go on, it starts off pretty simple, but it can get really challenging. So that's another thing I really like. A lot of the activities have access points for everybody, but they can also really challenge the more advanced students. Let's go back to the teacher view here. So we can see that Leslie, we can see what her progress is here. She was successful here. The line just means that this is an information one. There's nothing really that they're supposed to answer. And then I'd left these blanks. I had just gone through it. But you can see all the student responses. It'll come up as a row. Here you can see the different views. So if you want to see the student view, you can do that. Excuse me. Here, if there's a place where the students can answer like multiple, there's sometimes written responses. So you can see all the written responses here. Sometimes the students create graphs, and so if you want to see all the students' graphs on top of each other, you can click on Overlay, and it will show all the different graphs, and sometimes it's nice to see. I also really like this one. I'm going to go back here to Summary. There's also ways sometimes that students can see each other's work, but if you want to, not put people on the spot, you want to make it more anonymous, you can actually click here on this button, and it will choose names of random mathematicians out there. So now Leslie is Stefan Banach, and that's what students will see also. I like that I can paste them. Maybe it's an activity where I only want them to work on 2 through 6. And that's it. So now if I click here, the students can start at 2, but they can't go past 6. That way I can make sure people don't move too far ahead. I can paste them if I want. If I see something happening where I'm like, wow, a lot of people are making the same mistake, I want to pause it, I can do this, pause, and what the students will see is, so I just went back to Leslie's screen here, her activity's paused. She can't do anything with it. So she's forced to not work on the activity while she's listening to whatever information I'm giving to the class. And then if I go back to the teacher view, I can just unpause it. Now I'll go back to Leslie's view, and you can see she's back to working again. So that's what I really like about Desmos. It's pretty nice and friendly that way. And as far as the ISTE standards, I picked, it's definitely, I would say, the designer one. So ISTE Educator 5A and 5B. 5A, use technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning and accommodate different learning needs. I would say that this one definitely hits that. And also designing authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.